What's going on, Miles? What's happening?
Not much, Brian. Just just doing some cleaning of my desk,
Yeah.
and I'm failing miserably.
Oh, dude,
I,
it looks like somebody threw a party in my apartment, but it was the most boring party ever. It was just filled with like a lot of cardboard and paper grocery bags and Amazon boxes, and then just didn't clean up after themselves. Like that's
dude,
that.
that's what my living room looks like right now. There is actually a funny meme from like 15 years ago I've had saved on my computer ever since. I'm sharing it with you now. I don't know if you're gonna be able to post it later in the show,
Jesus
and it
Christ.
perfectly encapsulates what my room looks like. And I think everyone relates to this when you're on camera, and it's just basically everything in shot when you're on camera on video calls, people, is always clean, and everything else is just a complete and utter mess. But we can share it on the main show.
Well, I guess we'll have to
Anyway.
share it in the main show. All right. Well, then,
Yeah.
let's not mess around, man. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
All right. Whoop.
Whoop. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure, but we care oh so much about your oral pleasure.
Well, oh, okay.
That's why we put this thing up on podcast services of your choice. If I remember. If I don't remember, it doesn't happen. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here without Parole, and this gentleman over here to my left. You're right. It is Miles Dyer from youtube.com/Miles. Miles.
As that voice was going on, I was like, okay, that's an impression of. Oh no, it's changed. It's I don't know.
No one knows.
Is that a wrestling announcement voice? I mean, I don't even know if it's that. But
Sirens on my end. Yeah, it's my British wrestling voice. My British monster truck wrestling voice.
that is perfect. A British monster truck. I mean, if you want two opposites, like, is monster truck and British. I don't even know if we have monster truck. I know we have monster trucks probably somewhere. Actually, I don't know. Do we have them in the UK? Do we do monster truck things? No idea. But anyway, hello, Brian. Hello, Game Cats. Hope you're doing good. Hope you have a wonderful week. It's Friday again. We're here.
Gotta get down on Friday.
Friday, do the dolphin with your hand, or whatever they do in the video where she does it out the car. Everyone remember
Nobody
that?
knows. Nobody knows.
There is a generation of people now who are like teenagers who were born after that song came out, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, when did the song Friday come out?
Wait. So, but I mean, but listen, like when I was in high school, like people wore like Led Zeppelin shirts and Pink Floyd shirts and stuff, like bands from before they came out. So before they were born. So do you think that there are people wearing "Gotta Get Down on Friday" shirts that like right now in high school?
Yeah, because they're like, this is so old school. Like it's like
Right.
wearing a Led
It's
Zeppelin
retro.
shirt.
Yeah.
It was 13 years ago. 13, 14
Whoa.
years ago. So yeah, we're getting there. But what I like is it's a timeless classic because Fridays are still here. Like we still have Fridays. Like that was a good song. That's like we talk about it in marketing, evergreen. Something that is just not going to be of the moment. I mean, yeah, it came out on a Friday. That's important. But there's more Fridays. There's always going to be Fridays. So smart move, Rebecca Black. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing all right, Brian. How you doing? Man?
Bro, Deadpool VR just got announced. It's literally in the corner of our screen
Oh wow,
right now.
it is happening,
Yeah,
and it's
I mean,
witty.
and of course, it's only on MetaQuest 3 and 3S. But I mean, still cool to see VR presence. If anybody doesn't know, guys, this is such a chaotic time to do a live show, and so everyone's like, "Well, how are you going to handle this? Are you just going to stream Summer Game Fest on GamesCast, or are you guys just going to stream it? What?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I don't have a good answer for this." So I said, "Fuck it. You know what? I can't stand Summer Game Fest. I can't stand streaming it because then I got to pretend to be interested in 3 hours of flat screening gaming, and no sane person is interested in everything that happens at Summer Game Fest for 3 hours. It's just it's easy to lose interest very quickly. But I figured we'll just stream it in this little tiny window over here, and if anything cool VR happens, then we'll bring it up.
Do you want the announcement trailer? I've got the link for it.
No, I don't really care.
Okay. All right.
I mean, do you care? We can talk about it.
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool IP to be in the VR space, especially at a time when VR gets pooped on by, well-respected publications like
Wow.
PC Gamer.
Well-respected is pushing it, Miles. Miles. Well-respected is pushing it. All right, I'm just gonna leave this window up over here. This stream is going to be a little bit all over the place, so let's enjoy that.
Like a Friday show, love it.
Like a Friday show. But Miles, where is the picture that I literally just downloaded?
Oh, you just downloaded it. Oh. We did a pre-intro teaser, and everyone's tuned in because they now want to find out what it is.
Yeah.
They're going to be so disappointed.
Oh,
I just want you to tell.
I found it.
I want you to tell me, Brian. Does this resonate with you? This photo?
I think it used to a little bit more. Now I'm in the corner of the room, and there's nice windows behind me and stuff. And so here's what Miles was talking about pre-show. My room when the webcam is on, it's literally everything the camera can see is clean, and the rest of the room is just trashed, which I love, man. I really respect this. I think. You got to present a certain image.
I've never felt more seen from this. And this is like I've had this on my computer for 15 years. You can tell because around all the drawings are like the dots where, when you had like MS Paint and you save stuff low quality, it just like all grays out.
Yeah.
So
artifacting here.
Yeah. And that is like, you can't see around me, but it's not good, people. It's not good. So yeah. I've never felt more seen from this, and I keep this to remind myself that I'm just normal. This is normal.
Yeah. Nothing we do is normal. Dickie1331 with the $5 tip. What's up, Dickie? Says that Unplugged air guitar needs to add hand tracking to the PSVR2 version. Does it? I mean, listen, I don't even think I even tried the one with the controllers. I guess you'd have more functionality, right? You'd have more functionality to be able to like map individual fingers and stuff. So yeah, I guess that works. That's cool. I don't know. I didn't really spend any time with that. I don't even know if it's good or not. One of the 1,000 launch games we had that was not able to cover properly. Cheese is nasty with the $5 tip says they showed Deadpool VR from Oculus Studios. Looks amazing. Wish Sony first party did something cool. Don't we all? All right, hold on. You sent me the link for this, right? I guess we should probably cover it because it is.
I got to say, I did panic for a moment because I looked down on our live stream and I saw PlayStation VR2 in the corner. I was like, "Shit, they're showing something from PSVR2," and I was like, "Oh no, that's just the green hell." It was trying.
That's really funny.
By the way, on the state of play, obviously there was the Thief VR.
Yeah.
Did I hear? Because when I tuned in, you said that there were 2 VR games announced, but I was scrolling through to find the second. Or what was the other one?
Did you miss the one of the coolest announcements on State of Play? You still haven't heard this?
At the time.
Yeah, it was not like it was today, Miles. It was literally over 24 hours ago. You've had a lot of time to figure this out.
Dude.
Yeah. It's
embarrassingly, I was working till 4 a.m. this morning, and it was insane. And then I woke up and went straight back in. So yeah, no, I've literally been under a rock. What was the other game?
It was Luminous Arise.
Nice.
Have you played Luminous games before?
No, I've wanted to though.
Yeah, I'm actually one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. I was talking on Wednesday about it. And just like, I mean, I just got hundreds of hours in the PSP original, not quite as many hours in the follow-ups, but still wonderful, wonderful games. And of course, it's coming from enhanced games, so it's getting the Tetris effect. It is. We should expect all sorts of crazy particle effects, and it's got single-player journey mode, just like Tetris Effect does, and it's got multiplayer. Go online and play. I've never played Luminous online ever. So I can't wait to do that, and I just can't wait to have all those effects blasting in my face. I always thought the soundtrack was amazing too, right? And so I would love to hear some of the classic tracks from the original couple come back, maybe remixed or whatever. So can't wait to. One of the many things I'm excited for is I can't wait to see what they do with the soundtrack. So really good.
Cool. No, that sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
Deadpool looks good, man. And
It
there's
looks really
moments
good.
in it where I'm like, oh, we could do a Spider-Man VR game. Like the traversal's fast. It looks fun, but yeah.
Who's developing it?
It's I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it's going to show up in the trailer here.
Yeah, I was going to say. I did remember. Well, I know from the leaks and that. I think people said it was Twisted something. Was it?
Like Twisted Pixel? That can't be right. That's a small team.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Listen, no, this looks great. And anybody who's like, oh, Sony should be doing the same thing. Yeah, they should. They absolutely should. You know, we give Sony we give Sony their dues. We let people know
Twisted
that
Pixel Games.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, took what they learned about developing VR Fighter. Path of the Warrior has worked to create a unique VR experience for the iconic character.
That team must have leveled up big time. Like they must have gotten a bunch of new employees because that's crazy. Anyway, it looks great, and like I said, we do give Sony their dues. We give them props when it's right. We talk about just how much they're doing for VR behind the scenes and not really taking credit for it. But they need to do stuff like this, right? They need to do a lot more in order to just really set the narrative straight and let people know, hey, we got one of our first party studios working on a VR game. Blah blah blah. Let's do this. So, yep. But really good stuff. Looks very cool way to celebrate Summer Game Fest. Okay, listen, let's get into one of the main topics right now. Do we expect to see anything else from any of these showcases? There's an Xbox showcase, there's an IOI showcase, there's a future game show tomorrow. We got this thing going on right now. It's kind of crazy, Miles. It's sort of nonstop gaming happening right now. And I mean, it would be nuts to not to expect something for PSVR2, right?
I don't know, man. Like I feel there should be something. But I don't know. I feel like they had the state of play. There's an argument. The one argument is like, well, there's different audiences watching different shows, so you want to spread your marketing over different beats of different days. But on the other hand, it's like we want all the the PSVR2 news to triangulate towards one thing, which is state of play, because then it's the cross-pollination. PSVR2 people are going to be perhaps interested in these flat screen games as well. And just knowing how Sony are, I think if there was going to be something on any of the other shows, it would be this one. So hopefully there's something for PSVR2, but I don't think that's particularly likely. What do you think?
I mean, listen, the answer is yes. The answer is definitely yes. And I don't know if we're going to get anything from here. I think Quest is too much of a sponsor of Summer Game Fest. I think there's always been, even if not game announcements, there's always been commercials for Quest like embedded into Summer Game Fest. So I just don't know if like that's a place that Sony wants to be, right? And I think there's too much happening at Summer Game Fest. I don't know if Sony would want to be there. However, let's keep in mind that Shinobi, the person who leaked Summer State of Play, leaked State of Play and said when it would be coming. There's a child screaming at the top of their lungs. I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh, I hear that. Yeah,
but it is
fan of the show or.
Oh my god, this is like, bro, someone put that kid out.
Are they being stabbed or like? Do you need to?
There's a pool near here, and so I'm assuming that they're just like screaming at the pool, but it's like no one is telling that kid shut up. You're in the middle of the city. Anyway, yeah,
screaming on my end.
So listen, so Shinobi mentioned that they expected Resident Evil 9 to be shown off at State of Play. Same person who leaked State of Play. So there's got to be some credence to that, right? There's got to be something going on with Resident Evil 9 where it's like it's ready to be shown, and they just assume that like these two things are going to line up. So, but I do think that Summer Games Fest is a big enough place for Resident Evil 9 to be shown. And like I've said before, I'm not asking for the world here, Miles. I'm literally just asking for a little splash screen at the end of the trailer that says PSVR2 mode also in development, just like we got with the RE4 remake announcement. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. But dude, beyond that, I do think that there's going to be something else. Now, listen, it could just be fucking news about frenzies or something, which, clearly isn't something that pertains to us anymore. But if you look at this image of Summer Game Fest developers who are going to, nope, let's try that again. Future Games Show. There's too many shows, Miles. I can't keep them all straight. The Future Games Show that's happening tomorrow. Look at this image. This image shows NDreams. I mean, it shows like 20, 30 developers. The very right-hand column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 developers down. NDreams is going to be there. Could totally be more Frenzy stuff. Will not pertain to us. Could totally be something they're publishing that like maybe we don't care that much about. Miles, it could also be the game that we've all been waiting to see. It could be the Studio Elevation game, their AAA title that we've been waiting to hear about for 4 years now.
It could be the game. I'm being very careful how I word this. It could be the game that I played at Gamescom by NDreams.
Word it differently.
It could be a game.
Word it differently again.
It could be anything.
Excellent. So yeah, listen, when they canceled Frenzies for PSVR2, they said, don't worry, PSVR2 gamers, we got more news for you coming soon. Okay, hold on. What's this IOI Partners thing? Is this Mind's Eye? This is Mind's Eye, I think. Just keeping an eye out. This is the most ADD episode of Gamescast ever, because not only do we have the video playing down here, we have another video playing down there.
And we have this image, this image thing here.
Where do you want it? Hold on, wait.
Oh no, it's all right. It's fine.
Here, I can move the video wherever you want. It's on your face right now. Now it's over your name tag. Now it's next to you. Oh, you know what? Maybe it should be right between us.
There we go. Like what?
Yeah, right here. Yep.
Nice. Nice.
We're holding it up. Okay. I don't know what else is going on. Let's see. Let's check the chat again. Again, I've been working all day, man. I got to get PSVR this week out tonight, and so I've been working on scripting and editing that all day. Demo, the Down Under Game Cat with the level 1 membership says, nope, you deserve more. More what? More love? More snuggles? More booze? Thank you very much. Demo, the Down Under Game Cat with the Australian $20 tip. Follows it up with more. I don't even know what this is about, but thank you very much. You're very appreciative. You're awesome. Where's the button? That's the button. Trying to like things. Okay. So lots of good showcases going on. We're watching one as we speak, and already got a VR announcement, but not for us. I don't know. Maybe I'll play it on Quest. Who knows? We were talking about PC Gamer a little bit though, so maybe it's time to bring up the PC Gamer stuff. Little disappointing. I thought we were kind of past all this, but PC Gamer, in response to the Thief VR announcement.
Oh, they said they loved it, right?
I mean, clearly, though. Why else would we talk about it?
No. They said that VR's very misunderstood and people should give it a chance. That's what they said, right?
Yeah, no. They said, an all-new Thief game was announced during State of Play, but it's a VR game, so who cares? Like, bro. I mean, like, seriously. Like, first of all, wow. Right? I really thought... Honestly, I know it sounds dumb. It sounds naive to say. I know we live in kind of like a little bit of a bubble where everyone loves VR and everybody's happy when things get announced for VR. But I didn't really think that this sentiment existed quite this bad still. And then I was watching Podcast Beyond, and their response was like, fucking, oh, look, a new Thief game was announced, but no one's going to play it. And then they discounted VR altogether and moved on. Like I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. I actually went over and left a comment on their video, and then I thought better of it and deleted it because I was just like, I don't want to engage. I don't want to engage. So we're gonna hang out over here and point at these people and laugh. Anyway, this is from
Andy
PC Gamer.
Chalk.
Andy Chalk says, more than 10 years has passed since the botched Thief reboot, and this is what we get. I've been waiting more than 10 years since the botched Thief reboot for a new game in the series, and now it's And now that it's happening, all I can think about it's the old "careful what you wish for" adage, because it's coming later in 2025. Thief VR: Legacy of Shadows. Thief VR is a reimagined take on a once great stealth series, taking players back to the city, a place of shadows, ruled by tyrant Lord Ulysses Northcrest. Yeah, he keeps describing it. He says, for those not familiar with the series, that artifact, assuming the trailer isn't a big old misdirect, and spoilers ahead for a 27-year-old video game, by the way, so I guess spoilers ahead, is the artificial eye constructed by the Hammerites for Garrett, the hero of the... Okay, we're still fucking good to scroll down. All that does sound like the Thief game, and it has the right look if you count Deadly Shadows among them, which I sometimes do, and sometimes do not, depending on my mood. This guy already seems like he's got issues, right? He's like, yeah. Maybe you're not even a Thief fan. There's a decent choice that it could turn out to be a solid VR experience, and as devoted as I am to Steven Russell, if the Thief series is going to carry on, it'll probably be time for a new leader, or at least time to start making moves in that direction. None of which unsours my mood. Superficial Thief trappings aside, the fact that this is walled behind VR makes it essentially a non-entity, which I don't mean as a slight to VR fans, but simply a reflection of the fact that VR exclusivity limits the potential market size to the point where it's almost irrelevant. It is, quite frankly, a space for spin-offs and throwaways, and maybe I'm being stubborn or cranky, or both. I am old after all, but it genuinely rubs me the wrong way to see Thief, after such a long absence, end up in that pile. Miles, there are going to be people that say, well, he has a point, right? So, because he's talking about spin-offs. Call of the Mountain is a spin-off. He's talking about spin-offs. Metro Awakening is a spin-off, right? I mean, it is kind of a place to be like, hey, we don't want to put our mainline game here, right? We need to tell a story that's a prequel or a side story. It takes place between these two seasons of The Walking Dead, right? It is sort of the thing that, like, so I think he's right that we do get shafted on the story a lot instead of having like this mainline entry. But I hate the fact that he says it's walled behind VR, making it sound like it's beyond his grasp. He's incapable of playing this game. Like it's some paywall. It's like, no, dude, you can just get a headset.
Yep.
Like those are available everywhere. You can just buy one, and you're good. It's like, so I've already got an issue with the way he's like describing all this. It's kind of a mess.
Well, the thing is, he wouldn't have written this if it was a game that he didn't care about. So it's just like, yeah, a game came out and it wasn't on your medium, and so you're just going to whinge and cry about it, like. And at the end of the day, people can tell a lot about. It says more about him than it does about Thief VR. You know,
it does.
So someone on my team was saying the other day, and this isn't a particularly new thought, but I found it interesting, which was, you know, there was a moment in time where computer games used to always have like 3D in the name. It's, you know, Mario 3D or stuff like that, and then eventually like
64 was every. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right, and it's like we don't need to put 3D in the name anymore, right?
Yep.
And that could very well become with VR in the future. It's just like VR becomes the way that people just play games. It is the mainstream, and then, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to replace flat screens in the same way, because we still play 2D games anyway. But I do think that we are going to just see a constant upshift in accessibility to VR, and I'm seeing it. I mean, I was playing Arizona Sunshine Remake with my dad. I bought it for him on the Quest for his birthday, and I'm just like, my dad got me into gaming as a kid, got me into Doom and Duke Nukem, all the responsible stuff a parent gets your 8-year-old kid into. And but for the longest time, he hasn't been much of a gamer, because just like console gaming, he doesn't have a gaming PC. Using controllers isn't the thing, and the fact he's got a headset now, and he's like, he wants to jump back in and play some more Arizona Sunshine Remake. I also got him Iron Man VR, which he's loving on the Quest, and I'm just like, that makes me so happy. Like, I'm able to connect with him as a gamer again, but also like it shows you how increasingly accessible VR is, not just for like non-VR gamers, but even for non-gamers. Like, I'm seeing so many people who aren't gamers because it just doesn't appeal to them, who are now totally getting into it because VR is opening their eyes to it. So I just put that story out there. Not that we need to counter it for ourselves. We totally are on the VR train, but just kind of in response to this, which is the stuff that I'm seeing is, yeah, VR is going to be a slow build up because the gaming market is tough at the moment. Price of hardware, all this sort of stuff. But like, it is just opening the world of gaming to so many more people, and I'm just constantly blown away and excited by it.
Yeah. Distracted.
Sorry
says
if that was a bit
hybrids-
of a sidestep.
No. Distracted says hybrids solve everyone's problems, and I agree. So hybrids do solve everyone's problems. It means we get the game that we want to play, right? And it's like, but it's got a bigger budget and it's deeper, and mechanically, it's like probably better than a built from the ground up for VR game. And then flat screen gamers don't have to bitch and whine and complain about everything. So it is what we prefer. It's what we've been asking for. If somebody said, "Hey, a Thief game is coming. How would you like it to be made?" I'd say I'd like it to be a AAA fucking flat screen game that has a option to be played in VR. End of story, right? However, there are great benefits to this being a built from the ground up for VR game. It's going to feel so much more immersive than any hybrid game tends to. Right, you're gonna be able to like pull books off the shelves and throw things, like whatever, like you're gonna be in the world. You're gonna be able to interact with more items. So I really do hope that they take full advantage of it. So yeah, listen, there's a lot more to unpack here, so maybe we should just get to it. Let's see. I love that he follows it up with, "In my defense, I'm at least consistent on this front. I'm also pissed off when Ubisoft announced a new Splinter Cell game that turned out to be a VR thing back in 2020. It's like, so, okay, dude, so we get it. You don't like VR, right? But I honestly feel like maybe you shouldn't be publishing articles on this website then. Like you talk about the games that you're playing. Talk about flat screen games, because clearly those are the things that work for you. Right? But to be like, I'm going to take this entire opportunity, this whole op-ed, to shit on an industry that like there's a lot of people who care about. It seems so childish to me. This is the equivalent of children screaming about something they can't afford on Twitter. Right? And we see enough of that. You don't expect this from professionals. He says PC gamers Fraser Brown, on the other hand, feels even more strongly about it than I do. He called Thief VR a huge slap in the face and a kick in the teeth for everyone who has been waiting for more than a decade to return the city. Boy, and I thought I was mad about it. So we're gonna click on that article now. So this is PC Gamer, a professional, quote unquote, gaming journalism site that has now allowed 2 op-eds on the front page of their website trashing VR because they have children employed who are kicking and screaming and throwing a temper tantrum that the Thief reboot is not exactly what they wanted. This is the most embarrassing thing I've seen in a very long time, Miles. It's one thing to have an opinion. It's another thing to allow this to happen on your website. This is embarrassing.
Yep.
This is Fraser Brown. He says, we're in a smoky, dimly lit boardroom, sitting around the table, our sallow face? I don't even know that word. Executives sniffing wads of cash. The cash is on fire. The video game industry is on fire. Embracer has just made another completely ridiculous decision while it kicks the corpse of Thief, one of PC gaming's most important and influential series. Nothing Embracer Group has ever does makes a lick of sense. The Swedish holding company, formerly Nordic Games, rapidly grew between 2013 and 2023 as it gobbled up just about every stray game property it could get its hands on. And little good has come from that. I actually don't disagree with them there. It swallowed up THQ, grabbed Deep Silver, snatched Coffee Stain Studios, and just kept going. Studios, publishers, long dead yet still beloved games, and it was throwing money all over the place. In 2022, it made a deal with Square Enix and spent $300 million on Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal. That's how it managed to pilfer Thief. Shortly after the Square Enix deal, Embracer got into a spot of bother. A number of its acquisitions had come to nothing. It rarely seemed to know what to do with the treasures it had looted, and a gargantuan $2 billion investment deal fell through. Its share price dropped dramatically, and the restructuring began. Cancellations, layoffs, studio closures. In just a few months, nearly 1,000 people lost their jobs. It started selling rather than buying, but unfortunately for us, it kept Thief. And that's why yesterday we were treated to an ugly trailer for Thief VR Legacy of Shadow. One of the most disappointing
How can you say it was
reveals.
ugly? How can you say it was ugly? It's unbelievable. Like, you can say you didn't like it, but say it's ugly. When people are disingenuous like that, they lose all credibility. But the reality is they don't have credibility in the sense of, like, they don't have a loyal readership. Well, they might do, but I generally think that, other than sycophants and that, but like, they won't have a loyal readership. All they're doing is just getting clicks from outrage and engagement. And there's a lot of people that live their lives on that, and it's not fulfilling because you're only as relevant as your last hit piece.
That's right.
Fuck these guys.
Yeah. I'm not gonna keep reading all of this, but I do want to put this part out there. He said, look, you might not really care about immersive sims. Most people don't, judging by how poorly they tend to send, but nothing encapsulates the giddy brilliance of gaming, and especially PC gaming, like these ridiculous creations. And from Thief, we get some truly incredible, ambitious, and uncompromising games. Arx Fatalis, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, Deus Ex, Dishonored, and the Goats. Let's not forget its influence on stealth games, pretty much all of them. It's really where the genre properly began. And when you get excited about being able to do stuff like snuffing out a light in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you've got Thief to thank for it. Since sneaky, immersive sims aren't huge moneymakers these days, it's often smaller studios taking the risk, which is great, but I'm going to be straight with you. I would rather have something a bit more polished, a bit easier on the eyes, and with some fancy tech to back it up. I want my cake and eat it too. This is strange to me. He's talking about he wants fancy tech backing up his immersive sims. This VR is as fancy as it gets. VR is as immersive as it gets. This is written by somebody who doesn't fucking understand VR. This is written by somebody who doesn't play VR. This is written by somebody who, like, wants something and doesn't realize it's already here. This is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
The devs should just quote tweet and go, based on this, we're not going to make it anymore.
Right.
And then imagine everyone just laying into him going, you got it fucking cancelled.
This is great. He says, look, VR's a gimmick. It's always been a gimmick. It promises everything and delivers nothing. It was like this when I was a kid. Was he a kid 5 years ago? I don't fucking understand. Like, he's talking about the things at the mall kiosks that had 4 polygons and ran at 12 frames per second. It was a hot new thing, and this time around, nothing's changed. Occasionally, something cool appears, like Half-Life Alyx, but I ain't restructuring my entire living room and strapping an uncomfortable headset on for the promise of a tiny handful of decent games that, frankly, still ain't all of that. All right. I mean, just fucking zero credibility. Zero credibility. Unbelievable, dude. He thinks he has to restructure his whole living room. I mean, you should see where I live. If I can play VR in a tiny little space, so can you. You don't have to restructure anything, right? Just sitting here talking about how it's a gimmick, sitting here talking about there's no games. I mean, it's madness, dude. It's madness. This is why people have negative opinions about VR, because these people are allowed to just, with no knowledge whatsoever, zero knowledge on the topic, just spout nonsense. And then people go, yep, I can't afford one either. So I'm going to repeat this for the rest of my fucking life. I'm fucking done. I'm done with this article, and I'm done with this guy. Sorry. Unprofessional piece of shit. Right. You want to come on the show, Fraser? We can talk about this. Fraser Brown, you're invited on the show, and I can't wait to hear about all the VR games you've played to have this kind of opinion. You're an embarrassment, and this is why games journalism is a fucking joke right now. Fuck you, Fraser. Come on the show. I mean, let's fight.
I was getting flashbacks, although after those last few words, I don't want to say it's exactly the same. It's pretty similar, but I'm having flashbacks of me getting into a debate with Ryan McCaffrey and his dusty PSVR2.
Oh, geez.
Come on, let's chat about it. I bumped into him at GDC, and I could have spoken to him, and it was like as soon as I got there, and I was like, no, I'll catch him later, and I never did. But I was literally going to go, hey, Ryan, I'm the guy that was, telling you that you were wrong about your dusty PSVR2. it would have gone down well. Man,
That would have gone down great.
Fraser
Yeah.
took some time. He saw it. He wrote the article, Brian. He then read what he wrote, and he went, "Great, this is great."
And then somebody,
and then an editor,
Yep. Exactly.
looked at it and went, "This is great. Let's publish it."
Right. Never mind that it's just like the other article that was submitted. Boy, talk about a company that's out of ideas, right? They must be flailing so fucking hard to have to just engage clickbait, engage for negativity. They've got to be struggling hard over there. And you know what? I'm happy they are, because they deserve all the pain they're getting.
Whoa.
Popsicle says Brian's gonna punch him.
That was metal as fuck what you just said then.
Listen, man, I've only been in one fight in my life. I was on a lot of drugs. I don't know if I'd be able to handle myself in an actual fist fight, but I'm down to try. No, I'm just kidding. I would love to have a conversation. I was getting a little bit over the top and a little bit dramatic, because it's fun to get dramatic. And AJ's not here, so somebody has to be. So, but this, I would love to have a conversation like that with somebody like that, and just be like, dude, like, you're gonna find out very quickly if you engage somebody like that, just how little they know about the medium that they're trashing. It's a gimmick. Well, then what are you talking about? Like, why do you think it's gimmick? Why do you think there's no games? What games have you played? Have you played this game? No. Have you played this game? No. Have you played this game? We could probably do that for an hour. Oh, you haven't played that game either? So you played none of the best games on the platform.
Right.
Hey, so, okay. Moving on. Oh no, Cheese is Nasty said Capcom just trolled RE9. While I was complaining about PC Gamer, did we miss a troll? That's all right. That's all right. Okay. Izzard with the level 1 membership says there's no such thing as bad publicity. I think there is for PC
there is.
Gamer.
There definitely is.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, Miles, did you get a chance to check out Epyka?
I did, Brian. I did.
Ooh, and what did you think?
I thought, this game's familiar because I worked on it.
All right, so we get a little bit of a bias here, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken about it on the show before when it came out, and also when we heard it came to PSVR2. So, as a disclaimer for everyone that hasn't known of this before, I helped them market the game for Quest at Impact Reality. We helped them with that, and then we did the campaign. We had nothing to do with PSVR2, but it was one of the last conversations I had with them. They were saying, like, should we bring it to PSVR2? And we can never give an absolute recommendation because it does take development time.
Right.
But they did say, if we were to do it, what should we take into consideration? And we gave some recommendations like make the use of the functionality, make sure that you have trophy support and go for a platinum. Mm-hmm. And like my thoughts on the actual game itself was there was massive concerns on, like, it's a very short game, incredibly short game. But I did find that, like, for indie developers, I think it's their first VR game, their background in animation, I did find that a lot of the animation stuff in it was beautiful and, like, it was really, really good. But in terms of, like, the core gameplay, it's very shallow. I think in your review that you just did recently, you spoke about, like, when it comes to puzzle games, there are just puzzle games out there that do every aspect of it better.
Yeah.
And without going into spoilers, there are some things that are done towards the end of the game where it's like, oh, this is getting interesting. And then I think that when it gets to when it could be really interesting, I just don't think it's executed well at all. And it's a disappointment there. But there are, like, puzzles in it to do with, like, shaping perceptions and that, which I think are really cool. And I do think that maybe for, like, new VR gamers who perhaps don't want to go into, like, more hardcore games like, you know, Red Matter or Ghost Town and stuff, all excellent games and that.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is something endearing about this. But yeah, I mean, the game ends, and I'm not going into spoilers or anything, but there's a real sense of, like, and what happens next? Like, what could be next? And there's a real sense of, like, oh, and we just got started, and now it's ended. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're on this journey, and, like, you were like, oh, let's go, and it's kind of like that's it. So my general thoughts about it are, like, and actually when I spoke to him about the trophy stuff, I do feel that this game could do quite well on the fact that it is an easy platinum, just because I can see the conversations on all these trophy forums are always like, oh, I see this as a platinum trophy. What do you think about it? And I can imagine a lot of people saying it's an easy platinum. They both say, it's not an amazing game, but it's like, it's not a terrible game. I mean, I know you gave it 1 out of 3 pause. I'm not here trying to get you to say it's a good game, because I think you were right with a lot of what you said, but it's not terrible. Or do you think it is terrible?
Boring. I think it's boring.
Okay, yeah.
And I do, and I think, I could have easily said it's 1.5 or 2 pause, but, but the point never comes down to the score. The point comes down to the words, right? What are my criticisms? Yeah, sure. And I really wanted to like this game. I thought when he started up in it, and it looks the way that it does, right? It's like bright and colorful, and your dog Jack is there on the raft with you. Yeah. Immediate connection because it's a fucking cute ass animal, right? And you just want to I spent so much of the 2 hours petting Jack. Just like, thank you for being here. Thanks for being here, buddy, because you're making this way more tolerable for me. Like, really, right? They made it, but dude, the 3 biggest puzzles there are all just kind of boring mazes. Right, just frame hitching everywhere, and yes, like the developer put a comment on my Brian Bite and said this is a pre-release version that he played, and I'm no, like I pay attention to this stuff. This is not my first game review, right? You updated the game, I replayed the game from start to finish in order to see what you'd improved, and to their credit, they did improve stuff that I didn't mention in the review to begin with. Right. Like massive frame rate issues in places that are no longer an issue. There's just frame rate hitching here and there now. It's not crazy, right? The game crashed on me. They fixed that, right? So there is stuff that that they fixed, but I didn't mention that in the review. I never mentioned that in the review. That's no one's business, right? But so I felt like it was a little bit disingenuous on developers' part to come after me and be like, oh, you're talking about the multiple versions ago, and I'm like, nope. I literally, and just to be completely sure, I went in and played more today. And just to see, oh, this bug's still there, that bug's still there, the frame rate hitches are still there. And it was like, so I was like, I went from having really good will towards them, saying, I hope you're able to fix your game, and I really hope that it turns out, better than it is now. But ultimately, I don't think the puzzles are very good. And if this is how they want to react when I tell them what the problems with the game are, I'm pretty much done playing Epyka and covering it. Sorry.
That's a real shame, because something we do at Impact, and this is actually what you and I do when it comes to talking to devs on this show and stuff, is for us it's about how do you bring the community and devs together, and something we talk about when it comes to marketing. And you're going to laugh when I say this, because I know that, well, you've just given an example there. The number one rule when it comes to community engagement, I always say, if someone messages you and says they've got a problem with the game, don't deny it or don't dismiss it. I've had it in the past where I flagged with developers of I've been playing this game and I found this issue, and I can't remember what game it was, but the developer basically said, oh, we've never experienced that. And I was like, oh, great. I'm never going to give you any, I'm never going to give you any tips again. I've literally given you free Q&A and stuff like that. And, when we work with developers, and this isn't specific to Epyka that I'm talking about now, I'm just talking about generally, it is really interesting when you're behind the scenes on it, because people pour their heart and soul into these games. And so they get really defensive. And what I like about the work that I do when we do work on campaigns, we didn't work on this one in particular, is we can take the emotion out, because it's you work on the game and we'll deal with the community engagement stuff, because we're going to respond in ways that are right for you. Because we know that there's nothing worse when you're working on something, you see something and you're like, yeah, you must have missed that sort of stuff. And I totally see it comes from a good place, but it's not good. When people give advice, engage with it. It's not a weakness to say, oh, you found this problem, we're going to look into it, or could you give us more details of where it is? That's great, and saying that they fixed it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a shame to hear, because that's something we definitely try and communicate again and again. But
And
yeah,
Miles, on top of it, like I've been kind of going to bat for short games recently, right? Like with
yeah,
Pirates
right.
VR, Jolly Roger, I got a lot of pushback from people being like, "Dude, it's only 3 hours. How can you recommend it? $20 is a lot of money for a 3 hour game." And
Dude,
I
we
don't.
were talking
And
about Campfire on PSVR. I only played recently. Was it
yeah,
Campfire? And I was like,
Bonfire.
it's a short game. Sorry, Bonfire. I was like, great. Like, I realized I really like short games. Would like to see more of it. And so, like, Epyka had an opportunity to sort of scratch that itch. I was going to ask you. Sorry, I know you hadn't finished your thought, but did you get the platinum trophy?
I didn't because I spent too much
Okay,
time replaying
right,
it instead of like getting the last two collectibles I need. It takes it
right.
literally if your focus is to beat the game and get the platinum, you can get the platinum in under 2 hours. And so I'm kind of with you, man. Like if you're a platinum trophy hunter and you just want to get a quick cheap platinum, the game, like you said, the game's not terrible. It's I just didn't find it fun. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I've been going to bat for short games recently. I thought Pirates VR Jolly Roger was 3 hours, but really polished from beginning to end and just nonstop, like, not reusing the same assets and like not making you backtrack through the same environments and not, and all the puzzles were just perfectly paced where you spend a minute going, right. But then, within minutes, you're progressing through the puzzle and moving on, and it's time to like go to the next area. I thought it was perfectly paced. I thought it was a beautiful game, and I just thought it was so well done that, like, hey man, 3 hours, but it's a great 3 hours, $20. This was 2 hours for like $10, and it was like the complete opposite experience. And I was like, I was not having fun the whole time. I was not thoroughly enjoying myself. I did not think it was well paced. I really didn't like the puzzles. So, the two ends of the same spectrum. So, yeah.
So it's a real shame. I will say though, is like, as developers, if it is their first game, there is an opportunity to learn from this and like whatever they work on next. Like clearly there is, and by the way, this is not me like trying to defend it and kind of a good thing. Like all the stuff you say, like I agree with a lot of it, really. I mean, I haven't played a lot of the PSVR2 version. I am going to be live streaming it soon. I was happy with some of the haptics and stuff, although they added haptics in some things like the boat rudder, and that was cool. But then when you pat Jack, the dog, there's no haptics, and that would have been a nice touch. So, unless there was, but
there was sometimes, at least, because I remember being like,
okay.
oh, okay.
Okay, maybe. Okay, well, there you go. So that would have been cool. But like as animators and that, there's some nice stuff there. So like, I hope that from this game, we've seen it before, haven't we?
It's a nice looking world, man. It's a nice looking world, and I think Jack is my favorite part of it. He's so well animated. He's so lovable, and I just I kind of wish Jack was a bigger part of it. Like there was like one real puzzle that Jack was involved in. Where you're kind of hovering over this maze and you're seeing Jack in third person, you're opening doors for him. And I was like, man, like, but I don't think Jack was well utilized. I really thought that, it's like almost like, why is he here? Right. But I am glad he was there because he was the only thing in the whole game I cared about. So whatever. Dead Ringer, the Game Cat with a $2 tip says Epyka proved Izzard wrong. There is bad publicity. And I think, unfortunately, I think they just got some, but you know what? Listen, there's a bunch of people out there who played Epyka and said, hey, I really like this. And I think you were a little bit too critical on it. And as always.
Oh, in response to your review?
Yes.
As
always, Miles, and as always, everybody listening, I am so happy to hear that because the last thing I ever want is for anyone to buy a game and then be unhappy with it. Right? There are people who are like, oh, I'm going to buy Epyka anyway. And I hope it's fun. And for your sake, I do hope it's fun. I hope you enjoy it more than I did. Always. I'm never going to sit up here and be like, oh, you disagree with me? Fuck you. Right? I want people to enjoy games. That's what they're there for. And so the more people that disagree with me on this one, the better. That's it. All right, I don't even know where we're at. Oh, dude, you want to kick off the show with a couple viewer takeover questions?
Oh yeah, was that top of show?
Yeah, this is how today's going for sure.
Good, dude, this is good. It's good.
All right, cool. Listen, if you ever want to leave us a viewer takeover question, make sure your question gets on the show. No money involved whatsoever. You can just do what Nat Attack did and go over to our Discord. You should join our Discord anyway. Click the link in the description. Come hang out with us there. But leave your questions in the viewer takeover channel, and we'll answer them right here on the show. Nat Attack wrote, hashtag viewer takeover. Do you think any new VR games will utilize the new arcade-like controller they announced at State of Play? Did you see this controller? It's a big arcade stick. I believe it's the very first officially licensed, not officially licensed, like first party Sony fight stick. Did you see this thing?
I didn't. Let's see it.
It's pretty slick looking. Hold on. I don't think I have a trailer of it handy. Let's see.
It's good seeing Jeff Keighley pop up here, by the way.
What on our stream?
Yeah. It's good.
Jeff.
Yeah, it was awesome. You should put that. So Brian, when you want to get you should go back to Shuei Yoshida and go, hey, could you come on Gamescast? We've had Jeff Keighley on the show before. that's how you do it.
Is that it?
Like, oh yeah. Boy. But then you go, we've got Jeff Keighley on, who's obviously friends with Hideo Kojima, and there you go. You've got two big names already that you can associate with the show. So, yeah.
All right, so here we go. This is a fight stick. It's a super slick looking controller. I can't think of games off the top of my head, at least, that would work very well with this. Because when we think about VR games, we think about a couple different things. One, games that you have two hands in the game, right, which need to be fully motion tracked and all of that. And the other thing is usually an analog stick. So if it's like a third person game or whatever, analog stick seems to be really necessary. And these are the two things that this fight stick are missing. There's no tracking and there's no analog stick. There's just one big fight stick and big buttons like you would find in an arcade. That being said, Miles, I would love just getting fighting games in VR. That new Marvel game looks incredible graphically. The animation looks great. Arc System Works is always on top of that shit. Like, they always have great animation in their fighting games. And I would love to see that in 3D, in VR, right? Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just give me a 180-degree playing field view of the level and see these things in 3D. I don't need more than that. So having an excuse to pick up something like this and play those games in VR, I'd be totally down for. But I can't think of many uses other than that.
Anna Ribeiro, if you're watching, connect this with Pixel Ripped. Let's get it in there.
But again, right? But again, so much of Pixel Ripped is about being in first person and putting the cartridges in the console and then playing them.
That's true.
Right? It doesn't even quite work that way. So it's I don't know.
What was the beat 'em up game on PSVR? I never played it. The Streets of Rage style game.
Bloody Zombies?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm looking
that
for.
Could work for it. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Give me some side scrolling beat 'em ups. I would take that in a heartbeat. It'd be great. But yeah, Bitmappy in the chat says sick design. I agree.
Yeah, it does look really, really nice.
It's the kind of thing I want to. Who knows, man? I can't imagine it's less than 100. It's going to
cost more than the PS5 Pro.
Oh no! You know what they say about
Let's have a look.
Accessories that are more than the console. This is the kind of thing I want to set up here.
Oh, it's launching next year. Okay, sorry. Yeah,
with no price tag.
Yeah, because who knows where the economy is going to be in a year.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the kind of thing. I mean, it looks so slick that I kind of want to make a, custom home arcade cabinet and have these be the sticks in them. It'd be they just look really nice. Maybe. I don't know if you know this or not, Miles, but I'm winning the lottery next week. And when that happens,
nice.
Yeah, I'll totally pre-order a couple of these.
Awesome. Get me one. Thanks.
Excellent. And then you can come over and play Street Fighter and the new Marvel game that I keep forgetting the name for. We also got a viewer takeover question from Or Seek the Game Cat. He writes #viewer takeover. Following Westday's conversation after Phasmophobia and even if Minecraft Hybrid counts, what VR game would you like to see adapted to a movie or TV series? Did you see this, Miles, that Phasmophobia is getting a movie? Blumhouse is making it into a movie.
Is it Blumhouse? Oh my god.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wait.
Did you? Wait, before we get to this, did you see the Until Dawn movie?
No, because I heard it wasn't great. Was it? Is it worth it?
I mean, I heard quite a few people say like it was a fine movie, not like it was anything new. A lot of people said they had a good time with it. And also like it's not Until Dawn, like it's his own thing, like with I think Easter eggs and stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting that you bring this up and said exactly that because wait a minute, is this Resident Evil fucking 9? What are we looking at? Oh. Resident Evil Requiem. It's Resident Evil 9 Requiem. What the fuck? This February 27, 2026. Wait, whoa. I missed this entire trailer.
Whoa.
Okay.
Right, well, I'll get you the link. I'll get you the link.
God damn, how did this happen? Like I literally just I pulled it up and I was like damn. I literally just pulled it up. I literally just yeah. Hold on. This is crazy. Okay, so we were right. Resident Evil 9 was here, and we have no idea what Jeff Keighley's saying. So people in the chat are gonna have to let us know here. Hold on, can I bring? I the reason we're having it on here is so that I can turn it up if we need to. And of course, that doesn't seem to be working right now. One second.
Wow, February 27th next year.
Yeah. Here we go. Turn it up. Let these guys listen to it.
Make sure to visit summergamefest.com to see a listing of all the digital events this weekend you can watch and to highlight even more games, including the Xbox Games Showcase on Sunday. And stay tuned online to see coverage of many of the playable games at Summer Game Fest Play Days that's taking place this weekend in LA.
And make sure to stay tuned for Day of the Devs, which is coming up next with additional new reveals from incredible
I've got the trailer.
Studios around the world and deeper looks.
All right, well let's at least bring up the trailer then. Let me grab this from you. Thank you.
I don't know if this is it. Yeah.
Thank you. So no VR announcement. As people said, VR could come later. You know, maybe Summer Game Fest isn't the place where you announce that it has a PSVR mode. Do you remember when they were doing Village? I think it was Village, and on Capcom's showcase, they said nothing about the VR mode, but then over on Sony's version of the showcase, there was a whole segment about the VR mode, right? I don't know if you remember this, but it was very, very strange, and it made me wonder. It's like they just seem to want to have control over the VR message. Very strange.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's
why use say both things at the same time when you can make a second marketing beat out of it? Like, the thing is, you don't want to just announce everything at once. You can save it and then you can get in the news twice. You know.
True.
Because what you do now is you please flat screen gamers and Resident Evil fans, and the VR fans are speculating about it. So it's like, yeah, let them speculate. That's engagement. I mean, this is the thing about working in marketing.
It's painful, but it's true. Yeah,
it is. It's like, here are the cynical things that are considered of, like, you know, engagement and attention is expensive. And so the way you get it is just by, like, if there is stuff organically happening, people are going, oh, is there VR? Is there VR? Yeah, let that conversation go. Don't answer the question. Not until they got until February. So, which would mean between now and February is the amount of time that they spent developing Resident Evil 4 remake into VR, I think, because it was just under a year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say 8 months, maybe 8 months between the launch of the game and the release of the VR mode. I bet somebody in the chat has that knowledge, though. This is crazy. There's a lot of setup for this trailer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to know, like, where does it place on the timeline? Like, is it a brand new story or, yeah,
it'll be interesting to find out.
But man, God, everything looks so good in the engine. Like Capcom games, just the style and lighting and the character models, it's just excellent.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw World of Longplay say with this level of graphical fidelity, VR is not going to be possible. my only counter to that would be Village.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like yes, it would have to use reprojection and but with dynamic foveated rendering, they could absolutely make this thing run fine and run sharp on PSVR2. And the RE engine is primed to do that, right? Like, it was designed with VR in mind. So
yeah,
I'm not concerned. He says, I mean, it's not impossible. Right? Well, let's hope it is possible. I'm trying to stay optimistic. I get not wanting to talk about VR in your reveal, but I was really, really hoping we would see it anyway, even just a mention, a logo, something. So I'm just kind of hypnotized by this.
I am. Yeah, I'm too. It looks pretty wild. Yeah, I mean, there has to be a VR component. Like, why would Capcom want to step away from that?
Yeah.
Again, conditioned on funding,
right.
But
right. They've said I've been saying Looper says there's no trailer sound. I know. Listen, you guys can watch the trailer on your own if you want sound. My expectation, we could have just stopped this whole thing. Stopped the whole.
We could have actually done the voices for it. We could have dubbed it ourselves.
That would have been fun. Definitely could have thought of that. Yeah. Oh well. What are you gonna do? This is what I do like is that all the rumors about Resident Evil 9 were talking about it being much more not open world but open area, right? And so the potential of it being something that's there's a lot to explore, and I could see that making the engine chug a little bit more than the confines of Lady D's mansion or the whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Resident Evil tends to be like smaller areas. So it'll be interesting. It looks great though, and I'm excited that it got announced regardless because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and we'll be following the story very, very closely. What else we got? What's going on? Oh, right. We were just about to talk about movies. What other...
wait. Can I just say something?
What?
PC Gamer have just done an article called "Let's Pretend Deadpool VR Isn't Happening."
Yeah, I think that's probably enough PC Gamer for the day.
I love it. I just love it that they're just like, we're going to lean into being complete dicks. Like,
yeah, right. Level Up Legend says, "Crybabies everywhere," and the crybabies of the day, bing, 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 PC Gamer. Oh no, VR gamers are getting what they want. We're really sad about that. Oh, I feel bad for us. Miles, what movies would you want to see in movies made from VR games would you like to see? And I do want to preface this again by saying I'm so glad you told me about Until Dawn, because I thought the issue that I would have with the Until Dawn movie is that it was from a pre-existing story. That those characters are established, the world is established, the villain is established, and it sounds like they
cast.
It sounds like they it sounds like they took a little bit of a different route. And the thing that makes me excited about the Phasmo movie is that nothing's established. These characters are kind of nameless and personalityless, and they don't even have to use the locations from the game. Right? We don't have to be at Bleasdale Farmhouse. We could be at any location, and because the game's so modular, they could add the characters from the movie into the game as skins. They can add locations from the movie into the game as maps. Right? It's all possible. So that's why I'm super excited for the Phasmo movie, because they can do anything. They're not restricted or hampered by anything. It's just whatever they feel like doing, they can do. What do you think?
I'm gonna the first game. This isn't top of my list, but this is just one that I just think it's a world that would probably be could be interesting translated to a movie, and that is After the Fall.
Ooh.
And it could end up just being a cheesy blockbuster movie, but like, I don't know. I think that world and like, it could be developed, and I think that could make an interesting movie.
Yeah, because I
That's
mean,
the first one that comes to mind.
It's a little Phasmo-like, right? Like there's a basic outline of a story, but it's not really fleshed out. So they could do pretty much anything they wanted to. It's like, oh, it's post-apocalyptic, and instead of zombies, we got snowbreed, and make a story. And honestly, I think anybody making an After the Fall movie would be it would be awesome for them to flesh out what's happening back at the base, right? The stuff that I thought was missing from the game, I would love to see in a movie. Be like, who are the characters? Who are the people we're trying to save? What is happening?
Yeah.
Who like what are the survivors' day-to-day lives like when they're not out hunting snowbreed?
Yeah.
You know? I would love to know more about that, and I think that would really endear me to the series more. I think that would be great.
I've got a few, but we'll bounce between us. You go next. Like tennis.
Okay, that works.
Your turn.
Okay, well then, this is gonna be a tricky one because I don't know if it's gonna work or not. But I would love to see I'd love to see a Red Matter movie.
Oh yeah, but I totally understand you saying like I don't know if it would work. Yeah, like we don't want to suggest movies that then somehow get picked up and then they're a disaster. And they're like, do you remember when Brian said it would have been a good idea? Well, fuck you, Brian.
Yep.
Fuck you with your Red Matter idea.
It's all my fault.
But I'm with you.
Yep.
I think that's a great shout.
The great thing about Red Matter is that the world is so fully fleshed out. You get this idea, like it just makes exploring this base and having the story evolve as you go through it is so good. And it worked so well in VR, and actually is kind of perfectly paced in VR. Like if you took out the puzzles of Red Matter 1, right? Because you don't need puzzles in a VR in a movie. I think it would work. You boil it down to about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just tell the same story. The only issue I have, right? The best character in that game is the Volgravian base and the stuff in the environmental storytelling that's happening all around you. Your character is not a good character for a movie. He's sort of this blank slate that's perfect for a VR game where you're playing as, you can just feel like you're yourself. But if you're watching a movie, that character needs to be more interesting than that. And so it's all about how they make that character interesting, what they do, like, you know, how much talking do they let him do? And I think that's where it could falter. That's what concerns me about it. Because other than that, I think it would be a great movie. But I think there's so many ways it could go wrong because of the main character.
Yeah, it's a great shout. Okay. Are you going to hit the ball back to me, Brian?
Yeah. Yep. Volley time.
Got him. Okay. And mine is going to be, and I'm very worried about saying this, because I also think it's like, it'd be probably how I feel about The Last of Us Season 2. I'll be like, okay, as a movie, this turned out good, but it's just, it has nothing on the game which makes you feel just so much deeper. And that is Wanderer. The Fragments of Fate.
Interesting.
As a concept.
Tell me why.
So, like, for me, I think there's a lot about the game that wouldn't directly translate. Like, the basically what happens in the game, I think works well in the game because there's a lot of, like, searching for clues and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the concept of going to different parts in time to basically, so I am saying on the one hand, it's not about doing the puzzles, like that's not the interesting bit, but the idea of like going to different places in time to solve issues in other aspects, I think is interesting. I love the aesthetic of the game. I like the devices, like, your watch, it's a very compelling companion, and the music and the aesthetics of everything. I always talk about the reason I love the game so much is it's one of the only VR games where I feel I've never felt so much like I'm in a movie whilst at the same time feeling like I'm in a game, like as in one element is not jeopardizing the other. I just love the world of Wanderer and I think it'd be great, but I also can see the arguments of why it might not. I get a feeling that you feel it wouldn't translate well to a movie.
Yes. And people are going to hate me for this. I've said it before, and they didn't like it when I said it before. I don't the thing I hate most about time traveling in video games and in movies is that whenever the main character travels to a specific time period, they always meet the most famous person of that time period. And I'm like, this is so unrealistic. Do you know how many famous people are out there right now in this world that I've never met ever? Right? And you're going to tell me you go randomly to a certain time period and like you just meet Nikola Tesla? No, that's not going to happen. It's very unlikely. Right? And so in a game like this where you meet like famous person after famous person, you know, I think it's silly. I find it silly. And so, but the reason I think it works in Wanderer, and I wish it wasn't there in Wanderer as well. I really do. I wish there were more generic characters to meet with like maybe fleshed out, their own backstories fleshed out. And maybe I shouldn't say generic. I should say less famous or not famous. The reason I think it works in Wanderer is because there's so much other good stuff going on to distract you from the fact that they're doing the thing I hate so much, right? Because the puzzle solving is really good and the time traveling is really fun and the sense of exploration is really great. And so it's like, okay, this is sort of a small part of this. Whereas in a movie setting, it would be the main part, right? It's all you got is the story. And it's like, oh man. So yeah, I think but I think a lot of people would really enjoy it. And so just movie producers, just ignore me.
All right. I'm going to give it, before I knock the ball back to you, a lot of people in the chat are saying this, which I think is an excellent one, and that is Moss.
Yeah, right? It could be Ratatouille, but Moss, but Quill versionized. Wait, is Eclipse DJ quoting Quantum Leap in the chat? Ziggy says the chances to wander the movie are less than 10%. Well, quoting Al.
Nice, I like it.
Sam's faithful sidekick. Sorry, I don't know. I don't even know if that's what you're quoting, Eclipse DJ. But if you are, I love you. Do I have another one, dude? You know what? If we could, first of all, we could do this all day, right? But all I want to do, Miles, is just get like Cosmo Dread in VR.
Cosmo Dread was on my mind as well. Yeah,
because I just want more horror movies. Like that's what I like. I want more horror video games. I want more horror movies, and yeah. And so like Cosmo Dread is just another horror game, and a horror game that I loved, by the way. Right? I think you could make. People have actually made the roguelite gaming genre into decent movies. Right? Anytime you use that whole Groundhog Day element,
right.
Which we've seen in multiple movies at this point. I think they could do it in Cosmo Dread and make it work, and slowly unveil the story as you get through the movie. But like I said, I feel like this is kind of a low effort pick on my part. I just wanted to pick something horror, and this was one of the first.
No, it was actually on my mind. I think it's a good shout out of a lot of the horror stuff. Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people saying Synapse. I think Synapse is a really cool concept in that. I'm not sure it'd be my kind of movie, but that's not what this is about. It's like what I think it's a really cool concept. And again, with some of these, it's about, well, the game is like a starting point, and you can flesh it out as a movie. But let's not forget about What the Bat, Brian. That could.
And it's time to move on to our next topic, Miles. Thank you so much for ruining a good thing. It must be Friday. Must be Friday. All week long when people throw bad puns at me, I was like, whoa. I do enough of this on Two Wise Friday. I don't need this now.
Yeah. Friday
Eclipse
is
DJ. Eclipse DJ was quoting Quantum Leap. Oh, fucking love you, dude. Professor Lilith with the $5 tip says, this week Sunday multiplayer, we will play. That makes the game seem way less appealing, but it's 5v5 Alvo. Bang, pew, shoot teams of humans or zombies. See you Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget, you guys, come join our Discord. That's where we hang out 24/7. And if you're over there, that means you can come hang out on Sunday every Sunday 2 p.m. Eastern for the multiplayer meetup. You can get in there and vote on what game they're going to play, and then you can get in there and play a game that probably has empty lobbies and needs a little bit of love. And You won't have to complain that there's no one to play with, because there'll be people to play with, and they're good people to play with too. Miles, that's the other thing, right? You play with a bunch of randoms online. You'd be lucky to even find randoms online.
Oh my god!
But then when you're lucky and you find randoms online, they can turn out to be complete douchebags. And man, the GameCat community is not like that. They are awesome people to play with. And so that's why Sunday multiplayer is amazing. So come play Alvo with us Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much, Professor Lilith.
I know you didn't like the sound effects I did of the shooting, but
I mean, I've heard better.
This is an idea I've had for years, and it's not been done yet, probably because it's a terrible idea, but I somehow think it would be amazing. I want there to be a multiplayer shooter, PvP shooter game, but there has to be a mode in it, and the mode is the way you shoot your weapon is you have to make the noise of shooting. So, and like if you want to use a rocket launcher, you have to do a and just like the idea of people running around just go pew, pew, pew. I think it would be the novelty would probably wear off after 2 minutes, but I don't know. I would just love to experience that. Just see loads of people running around making shooting sounds to fire their guns. I don't know. That the idea tickles me.
What is Demo the Down Under Game Cat says? Love you all. Sauce SOS drunk.
Sauce SOS drunk.
What does that mean?
Need help?
Oh, I mean, I know what SOS means in that regard. I didn't know if it meant something in the drunk sense. Somebody please send help to Demo.
Sauce.
Yeah, give him some.
Miles is rapidly losing credibility right now. Well, I appreciate you thinking I had any credibility at all.
Pew. Whoa, if that's what it takes to lose credibility, then I'm on board that train. I'm all about losing some credibility, as people already fucking think that.
Ian, tell me, if that mode was available in a game that you already own, you would give it a go just for one round.
1 round.
Yeah.
And then never again. The developer spent a year implementing that into the game, and then we all play it for 4.5 minutes and go, well, that was fun. We're never going to do that again.
No, I mean, I'd play it loads. I'd go for the platinum.
Okay. Does the octave of your voice change the intensity of the shot? Like, what? There's got to be something to that, right? Like, can we brainstorm on this a little bit and figure out what the?
Do you have to reload? Do you have to make the sound of reloading?
Yeah.
Grenades. Bing.
This is really good. I'm starting to really get into this. There's vehicles and the car doesn't start unless you go.
Yes.
Yeah. This is great.
Reversing. Beep, beep, beep. Or maybe you could do it in a plane, like an aircraft game. Yeah.
How would you jump? Would you have to go? Whee!
Woohoo! But that might be copyright. Yeah.
Right. A little Luigi jump or Mario jump. That's great.
All right.
This is good.
There we go. Sold. Me and Brian, we own the rights to that idea.
Yeah. No. You can all have that idea. That's free. That's free. We'll give you a new idea every week. Somebody's going to make it.
All right. Last question on this for the chat while we move on.
Sure.
If that mode was to be added to any shooter game in VR, which game would you want to experience that mode in? You don't have to answer it, Brian.
I've got an answer. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Because I want the lightsaber to only work when go.
Yeah, okay. That's a great one. Yeah. That's a great one. Yeah.
Okay. This is ridiculous. This is Friday shows are going completely off the rails these days. Grandpa's Barbecue or Game Cat with the Australian $5 tip says Resident Evil often releases 6 months or so later with VR, so that would put it close to the PlayStation 6 launch. Bro, what? We just got our pros. We got at least a couple of years left in this generation. I don't see Sony racing with anybody, right? To racing for to start another generation, because I think another generation of gaming is always scary for any hardware manufacturer, because you don't know if you're going to carry people over, right? And Sony especially has seen what happens when you fumble the ball, when you own the entire market with PlayStation 2, and then you screw up and no one buys PlayStation 3 for years until you do lots and lots of PR and price reductions and you know, working on the console itself in order to make it cheaper and remove features and all that. No manufacturer is excited. That's why it took Switch 2 fucking 10 years to come out. Right? Because Nintendo was like, their primary concern was how do we get all these people on Switch 1 to come over to Switch 2? So if there's no race, if they're not racing Microsoft, because Microsoft clearly, they're done, man. They're done as far as consoles go. If they put out another one, I mean, it doesn't even matter, right? Like, I just don't think it matters. I think Sony would be pretty happy with where they are. And they're not, and clearly Sony and Nintendo don't think they're competition for each other. They're just playing two completely different games. So where does that leave you? I think that leaves you with Sony riding out the PlayStation 5 and PS5 Pro generation as long as possible, right? And especially because it took a couple of years to even get off the ground. We dealt with COVID and all these different things that caused delays in games. Plus, like, just it's the newest generation of gaming, which slowed everything down. People are trying to figure out how to, you know, maximize frame rates and create these beautiful environments without spending 6 years to do it. And so everybody kind of tripped at the start of this generation. And so I think we've got a lot of making up to do. And I think Sony themselves have a lot of making up to do. And they want to have that fan base that they already have with PlayStation 5 continue to grow. I think unlike the PlayStation 4, we'll see a price drop for PlayStation 5 eventually. And I think we could see this generation going for many years and eventually see like a $300 or $400 PlayStation 5 to include as many people as possible into it. So I don't think the PlayStation 6 is anywhere near here.
And what's also different about this generation is we are in the era of AI. I know PSSR is, I think, only on PS5 Pro, but I do think that there are going to be benefits of AI upscaling in that will be able to be used on the base model. And so it means that it's not just a question of the hardware. It's just like all of this technology in AI and upscaling that means you can squeeze more out of the existing hardware. And the longer that they can keep PS5 and PS5 Pro being the current generation console for, the more titles they then can double dip with when they finally move to PS6 and go, and here is a PS6 version that's been, you know, fully upscaled for it. I mean, I know there's a lot of free upgrades, but by that point they might be able to push a lot more of the, well, for just $10 you can get the full upgrade and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a very long generation compared to previous ones.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to benefit Sony. It's only going to benefit consumers. It's only going to benefit the games. Like, when I say it's only going to benefit, what I mean is it's going to benefit everybody. There is no downside to a longer generation. I mean, dude, remember the end of the PlayStation 3 generation, which also stumbled out of the gate like PlayStation 5 did? It was amazing. We saw the best exclusives. We saw it taking full advantage of the hardware. Right? We saw games that looked, I mean, in my book, PlayStation 4 or better quality at the end of the PlayStation 3 life cycle. Like, these developers really got their head around that hardware, and I'm definitely expecting to see that again this generation. So, does this make PlayStation a monopoly? Distracted says, no, because even though Sony and Nintendo don't see each other as competition, they are. They don't act like it, but they are. And also, Microsoft controls 90% of the third parties out there. So there's also that. There's still some good competition left, but not the kind of competition I'd like to see. I would love to see. I'd like to see somebody come in that would be a capable hardware competitor with Nintendo and Sony. Come on, Sega. We need that Dreamcast 2 now more than ever. Fifth with the Australian $2 tip says, got your Switch 2 yet, Brian? I do not. Although one of my buddies just sent a text saying he just walked into Best Buy and bought one. They had plenty. So I may just walk into Best Buy.
Have the reviews been pretty good for the Switch 2?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the mixed on some of the on the backwards compatibility stuff. Some of it's been really promising. Being like, just some of the games just naturally look and play better. And some of them have issues, so it's going to require some patches, I guess.
I
but
saw
I
one
mean,
where the frame rate went through the floor. It was like one of the worst looking things ever. Oh, was it the Batman game? I think it was. Yeah, it just did not work. Yeah.
Everyone in the chat's surprised that I might leave my apartment to go get a Switch 2. Listen, I PAX East primed me for this. That's the only reason I went to PAX, was so that I could be like, well, I need some practice before Switch 2 comes out. But yeah, dude, I mean, listen, it launched with Mario Kart World, and that's literally the only game I need for the next year. I don't need to buy any Switch 2 games other than Mario Kart World. It's going to be a Mario Kart World machine for me for literally a year.
Yeah.
Although
if I got it, I think that'd be it. Yeah.
I never finished Breath of the Wild. I probably only got about 5 or 6 hours into Breath of the Wild, and so I would definitely pay the $10 to play the higher res, better frame rate version of that on the Switch 2. Oh, they already fixed some of the Batman issues on Switch 2, says Tatum, and I trust Tatum as a Switch 2 owner. He knows his stuff. Tatum, have you gotten home so you can play your Switch 2 yet, or still in the hotel? All right. It is time for a little 4-minute challenge. Miles, are you ready to do this thing?
Yeah. It's me guessing, right?
It is you guessing.
With the chat.
With the chat. I completely forgot to send the run a show to you. I did have one, and I just didn't send it to you. Sometimes it goes better
You
that
did.
way. Yep.
Telepathically.
Random Toxie says you can't say Sega without singing it. And that's true. Sega. Okay. Dude, my voice is hoarse right now because even though I must be tired if I'm laughing at these jokes.
Yeah, he's laughing at, and I didn't even laugh at that. I didn't even smoke. I didn't think that was particularly funny, but fair.
Yeah. Because I've got so much work to do. I've got a news video I'm working on for tomorrow, and I'm trying to get PSVR this week out tonight.
This week.
Yep. This week. Why is the light so bright all of a sudden? And I put a halt to all of it because for whatever reason I decided to learn to play and sing Helena by My Chemical Romance. And it is a fucking fun song to play. I'll say that. I learned a new chord today. Just gonna say, I learned a new chord. I've been playing guitar for 35 years, Miles.
I can't play any chords, so
I learned a new chord.
And how did you learn it?
Just looking at the guitar tab for Helena. Like, I've never seen this before. It's just a D, but down one string, and so it sounds really good. Yep. All right, you guys, you know how this works. You got 4 minutes and an infinite number of questions to ask in that 4 minutes. Yes or no questions to figure out what PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game I'm thinking of. So help out, Miles, and ask good questions and then recommend good games. It might be based on the answers that I give. I have no idea if I picked this game before or not. I feel like we could have picked it last week or never before. But here we go. On your mark. Get this. Go.
Would a VR newcomer cry from motion sickness with this game?
Wow, good question. Maybe. I think the answer is probably yes. That's a good first question.
Is your character? Are you playing as a person?
Are you like a human? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
would you say more times than not you're holding something in your hand?
No.
Okay.
Less times.
Is it a puzzle game?
Times. I wouldn't say puzzle. No.
Single player?
Yes.
Only single player?
Yes.
PSVR2 game?
Yes.
But on PSVR?
No.
On other platforms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want to know what platforms? Did it come out this year? It came out within the last year. It did not come out in 2025.
Okay. Is it scary?
I don't want to misguide you. I think there are scary moments, but you wouldn't call it a scary game.
Okay. So it's creepy.
There are moments where it
Okay, so it's moments. It's moments, not throughout. Okay.
Exactly.
Can you die in this game?
Yeah. No, you totally can. Yep.
Despite my previous question, is combat a major part of the game?
Nope.
Okay. Could it be argued that it's a walking simulator?
It could be argued, I think.
Okay, it could be argued that. Is it full locomotion?
Yes.
Is the location based on a real life place?
I would say yes and no. I would say mostly
okay.
Mostly yes.
Okay.
Minute and a half.
Can you see your body in the game?
No.
Is it just hands?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that some people would find that it would give you motion sickness.
Yeah.
Is it a good game?
Heard. Yes. Opinions will vary, obviously, but I think it's a very good game.
Is it a chill game?
Yep.
Okay. Does it take place primarily indoors?
No. 54 seconds.
Oh fuck, man. Someone say, is it black and white?
No.
Is there a progression system?
Yeah. Yeah, there is. I don't know why I stumbled. I would say so, yeah.
Are there levels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maps. They're different maps.
Are you alone? Are there NPCs?
15 seconds, no.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I guess it depends what you call an NPC, but no. No.
Are there enemies, people? Like
No,
okay.
no, not people, no other people. You're out of time. I'll let you ask one more question, and then you need to guess.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm completely lost this time.
That's right. That's what the chat's here for.
Okay. Is the environment heavily interactive?
Heavily interactive. That's tough. Yeah, I would say I would err more on the side of yes than no.
Man, I'm just reading the chat and there's loads of suggestions that aren't related.
In some ways, Miles, in some ways, the environment is completely interactive. In some ways.
A lot of people are saying this. I don't think it is, but I'm just going to say it. Is it the utility room?
Miles, coming out December of 2024 by A2D Software. This would be Subside.
Fuck.
Subside. The environment's completely interactive. You swim in it. You pick things up off the ground. You can use the ground to climb around. It is very much a walking sim, I would say, I guess, right? But it's because it's all about exploration. There's no real actual gameplay. Yep. This is dude, I cannot wait to do another top 25 list and debate this with you guys, because this might be in my top 10. I think this is such a perfect game for a new VR gamer or an experienced VR gamer.
Yep. Yeah, man. And there was quite a few people that talked about Subside in the chat. I just, you know what it's like. You're on your own train of thought, and where I was coming at it, I just wouldn't have thought about this. Subside is going to be a top 10 contender for me as well. I absolutely love this game.
Steve Irie in the chat.
Cage is one of the scariest things I've ever done.
And also, fuck this shark cage. I think going under in the caves where like you have to go underwater and there's rocks above you, you cannot come up for air. It is so tense. It is fucking scary.
Okay. Yeah. So I understand that. I think it is pretty claustrophobic. It doesn't affect me, but the level where you're swimming with the whale, there's a trophy to get to the boy out in the open water. I kid you not. To get that trophy, I swam out to the buoy, and as soon as the trophy popped, I took the headset off. My thalassophobia was so through the roof, I couldn't even stomach like looking down into the water and going to the menu. Like I was like above the water looking, and as soon as I touched it, I closed the game down. Like it really affected me. I mean, it's incredible. Like, yeah, but that's the thing. Different things affect people in different ways. But you're absolutely right. That stuff in where you're having to literally push along it, that is serious stuff.
There's definitely some contention in the chat saying that calling it a walking sim was misleading. I said that it could be called a walking sim.
No, Brian, you should have said, "Oh, I thought you said walking swim."
Yeah, I think walking sim has a particular connotation where there's not a lot of gameplay, and it's more about exploration and the story being told to you as you progress through it. And so I can definitely see how this might not be a walking sim, but certainly people have argued that it's not a game. You can't even call it a game because it's all about exploration and there's no actual gameplay. Meanwhile, I think that is my favorite part of any game is the exploration, and they really capitalized on that above and beyond anything else. Ace Gamer just unsubbed.
Anyone,
thank you, sir. Goodbye. Thank you for your service.
Anyone that can platinum this game, they reduced the amount, increased the amount of time you had to do all the collectibles. I've still not 100%ed the collectibles. There is, I think it's actually the second level. I'm going around everywhere. And I think there's like 1 or maybe 2 coins left. I can't find it. And yeah, I mean, the people that have managed to complete that, massive props.
World of Long Play says
I think you have to get 100% in 2 hours. That's all the coins, all the unlockables.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In 2 hours. Yeah.
World of Long Play says the only game that made him motion sick. The only game that's done that to him. And I heard that from multiple people saying, and I think the default controls could easily make you motion sick. There's some things that swim turn, I think you should turn off.
Yeah.
That's a big one. But yeah, I can totally see it. Wait, I'm going to get a deep cut when I'm guessing next? Wait, why did him? Subsides was a massive release, and I gave it like a 9.4 or something like that. Like, I love this game. Also, I really want to see DLC for it. I don't even care if it's paid DLC. Right? I would love to see this developer make some more money on each level, charge $3 or $4 just like Walkabout, and give us some big ass underwater levels. I know people said they want to explore like a pirate ship underwater. That would be great. I was talking to AJ on Wednesday talking about how great a deep house level would be, right? Just like a house just that's underwater that you get to go in and explore. The possibilities are endless. It could just be anything that's underwater, right? Like some carnival that sank to the bottom of the sea. Who the fuck knows? And I would love to see how creative he could get with it, especially if he was making money off the DLC.
Yeah, no, incredible game. It's a must experience for anyone who's got VR. Yeah, amazing.
Big time. Noctis showed up with his €1, as he does every single episode. Thank you so much, Noctis. We love you. I appreciate your generosity. We got Comic Book Guy with 2 quid says, the Deadpool VR looks good. Sorry, I'm late. So yeah, we actually kicked off the show with that. That was it looks like a great game. Hats off to Meta, who are basically delivering the things that people wish Sony were doing on PSVR2. So massive respect to what Quest is doing. During this era where we keep hearing like, oh, Meta doesn't care about games. All they care about is mixed reality or Horizon Worlds or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, they obviously do still care about games. We are getting good games from them. So keep it up, Meta. Got to give Sony something to chase. All right, you guys, thank you all so much for hanging out. I know this was kind of like a all over the place show, as they tend to be on Friday, but we even more all over the place. This is the most ADD show we've ever had. We had a live stream going right here in the middle. We took a break to watch Deadpool. We took a break to watch Resident Evil 9. Pretty cool day for video games all around, I'd say. But stay tuned, because more is coming. That's all I'll say. Thanks for being here, Miles. Make sure everybody goes subscribe to Miles over at youtube.com/Miles to watch his Let's Plays, which are returning, correct?
Yeah. Now, hand on heart.
I love the laugh. The laugh really solidified it for me. Yeah.
After After this live stream, I'm actually going to be creating thumbnails for a batch of games that I've been meaning. Well, I've got so many to do, and my hope is that this weekend I can get a few under my belt, and I want to get back into a rhythm. So yeah, do subscribe and let me know on X or Instagram. Do it on X. What games you'd like to see me let's play next. And I know everyone's going to say Madison, but I want to get through the list of games I've still not played. I think I'm going to do Ghost of Tabor this weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really want to play that. So yeah.
I got to get into Tabor. I really need to. I got to get into Tabor. I got to get into Hitman. But these new games just don't stop coming. And then after all that coming, that's a massive mess to clean up, Miles. You have no idea. It's come everywhere. Shout out to everybody who supports the channel financially, whether that be over on patreon.com/withoutparolegames or by being a member over here or by tipping during the show. It means so very much to us. Thank you. But listen, money is the least important thing, right? Things are going to be fine without money. We don't need money. Just live off of love.
Hit the like button. We need likes.
Yeah, we live off of love, live off of likes, live off of snuggles. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Make sure you come join our Discord so you can hang out even more than this. You're all awesome. And of course, shout out to the people who watch this show. Sit back. Don't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Here it is, your clip of the week from Fuzzy Psycho Bear. Let's go. I just realized I never watched that. I still don't know what the audio says during that. So so hopefully nothing crazy was said.
No, it was just if it was a game where you had to make the sounds to do the thing. Yeah. As you were starting, I was like, I wonder if the Summer Games Fest video was going to be playing on top of it, and it was.
Yeah,
which I loved. It was a nice touch.
Yep. Yeah. That is, and of course, I'm clicking on it over and over and over, and it's like, do you want to click on this? No. Do you want to click on this? No. Do you want to click on this? So yeah. So it was there for like half of the video. Amazing. It wouldn't be without Parole if it wasn't all sorts of fucked up. Have a great weekend, everybody. We love you all. Oh, wait.
Well,
wait. We can't. Fifth at the absolute last minute with the Australian $5 tip says, Brian, should Miles play Ghost of Tabor from start or do the tutorial and then start the Let's Play? Listen, I think Miles should get a hang, get a little bit of understanding of Ghost of Tabor before streaming it. I don't know if you agree with this.
I played a bit of it on MetaQuest, but yeah, I should probably get the hang of it with the PSVR2 controllers.
Dude, I played it a couple of years ago. I played it for 5 hours a couple of years ago, and like, I am so glad nobody watched my first 4 hours on PSVR2 because it was a lot. It was a lot to learn still. So I would recommend, Miles, that you get the hang of it offline, off stream, and then jump in when you have at least the basics down.
Let's play some together, Brian.
Let's do that. I have time in 2026. Does that work for you?
All right. Maybe.
Good night, everyone.